Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I would like to call to order the September meeting of the Cultural Arts Commission. We would begin with roll call.
Mr. Brandt is excused. Mr. Doyle is excused. Mr. Fogarty?
Present.
Ms. Grewash?
Present.
Ms. Guaiardo?
Present.
Ms. Latimer?
Present.
Ms. Patterson is absent, it looks like. Mr. Smith?
Present.
Ms. Pirano is excused. Ms. Williams looks like she's absent as well. And Councilmember Taylor?
Present.
All right, thank you very much. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hope everybody's had a chance to look over the agenda. I would seek an approval of that, a motion.
Motion to approve.
Latimer, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, moving on. And similarly with the minutes, I hope everyone had a chance to review those as well. I would also seek a motion to approve those.
Fogarty, motion to approve.
Guaiardo, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, moving on. We'll move on to the citizen comments. Seeing none, we will move on to committee and department reports. I don't believe Kelly's here for the financial report. Do you have that for us this evening?
I don't. Craig said she had something come up last minute, so she wasn't here. So I guess we'll just have to skip that and see if she has anything we can send out.
Okay.
Guys after the fact.
All right, and that moves us right into tourism and festivals.
I'm all over the place today, guys. Sorry. Technical difficulties, so my presentation won't be showing on the screens, but you guys have it printed out in front of you. Tourism and festivals. So upcoming, our next event, we have Food Truck Fright and Film. We are kind of revamping it a little bit this year to add the film edition. I'm actually really excited for it. I've never seen Coco. I think it's going to be really cute, and hopefully we'll get a bunch of kiddos out there with their family. That will be at Dames Park on Friday, October 10th from 6 to 8:30. There will be some costume characters there for photo opportunities as well. I believe like Jack Skellington's one of them. We have some other kind of fun ones. They're not all Halloween themed, but they're all definitely like the kiddos love them every year. They love them. So, and like I said, Coco will be shown on Field 1 out of Dames starting at 6:45. And I forgot to put this on the presentation as well, but as of yesterday, our specialty rides for Celebration of Lights are on sale. It's crazy to think about the fact that we're already doing Christmas, but I have already received lights. I've counted all the lights, all of the, like I said, the rides are on sale. I think we've already sold like 30-something trolley seats, and I think, man, I looked just a little bit ago, and it was like we've already sold over half, I think, of the train rides that are available. So those are always a big hit. We always see those sell pretty consistently. People love them, and it's always fun for us to see, like the little kiddos, whenever they're driving through, they get to ride on the train. They think it's just the cutest thing in the world. So those are on sale, and they will go quick. So if anybody's wanting any of those, I would suggest doing that sooner than later. That's about all I have for festivals. Does anybody have any questions on that? Nope. Okay. It's me. I'm just going down the line.
Might as well move on to the cultural arts report then.
All right. This past Wednesday, we hosted Shakespeare in the Park. It is a collaboration with the St. Louis Shakespeare Festival. We've been doing it for the past few years at least. This year's show was A Midsummer Night's Dream. We had about 350 people out there. It's probably really small on your guys' printed version. I had such high hopes for this to be on the screens. We had about 350 people out there. Very good show. It was very high energy. It always amazes me how they pull their entire set out of a van and then they just go. There were 6 people in the entire cast, but I think they said there were about 13 different roles throughout the show. Crazy. The versatility is insane. Like, it was so interesting to watch them, just person to person. They would literally go behind like these panels and they would come out in different costumes with like a whole different personality. And I'm like, it was crazy. It was awesome, but very good turnout. Something we're definitely going to continue going, moving forward with the Shakespeare Festival in the future. So always a highlight. And I think 350, they said their averages were about 200 to 400, give or take. So pretty good attendance.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Does it always land on a Wednesday, historically?
Typically Wednesdays or Thursdays, I think,
Okay.
are usually the day. It's kind of in flux. Wednesdays or Thursdays, I think, are the day that we usually opt for. Doesn't necessarily have to.
Okay, I was just wondering if maybe, since around that time every year, the Tuesday night in the park,
Jam-ins
in the park are over, if maybe schedule it on a Tuesday night rather than a Wednesday, just because I know school's starting back up around that time, and Wednesday just ends up being super busy for people. I
Sure.
know last week I was very busy on a Wednesday night, so.
Yeah, we're kind of at the mercy of the festival as well,
Okay.
when they have availability, because they go, I'm probably going to get this wrong. I don't think it's every night of the week that they're at a different park, but they are at different parks the majority of the nights of the week. So
Okay, that makes sense then.
yeah, we're kind of, it's like a game of like Tetris of like, where can we kind of fit into their calendar as well. So
Okay.
doesn't necessarily have to be a Wednesday though.
Gotcha.
So-
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was sad I had to miss it.
Yeah, it was a good one. You did miss out, that's for sure. But all right, O'Fallon Theater Works updates. Curious Savage opening night is on Friday. That one will run this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. They are rehearsing tonight. I went upstairs and I was talking to Chris. He said if anyone wants to come up and watch it, they'd be their guests. He said they actually would love people that are very loud laughers. He said they've been practicing for so long that sometimes they forget if what's supposed to be funny is actually funny. So they like to have a little bit of a test audience. So if you guys want to pop your head up there a little bit later, they'll be rehearsing, and they would welcome that. All right. The holiday show, it is confirmed. We have the rights purchased. We have all of the marketing materials, and it will be the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, the musical. I think it's going to be a really good one. It's a very diverse cast as far as like age ranges. There is definitely a lot of adult roles. There's definitely some kiddo roles, definitely family friendly. Auditions for that will be next Saturday, and then callbacks will be that Sunday, the next day immediately. So Ren is directing that one. I don't know if you guys have met her yet. She is a new director. This will be her first show with us. But her daughter was in 6, actually. She has a wealth of theater experience. She's great. Their whole family's kind of involved with it. And she's actually married to our IT director, Jason. So it's a really family affair. But they're great. Ren's super excited. She's like chomping at the bit to get in there to get ready for it. So I'm excited to see it. I've never seen the show, but I'm hoping it'll be a good one. So that's okay. Come on in. All right. Okay, next up, the galleries are all in the process of being switched over. We removed the galleries from Krekel and Renaud Center yesterday, and then City Hall will be coming down tomorrow and Friday. And then our next rounds are going up within the next week or two after that. So again, probably pretty small in your little packet, but there are some pictures of the upcoming galleries. The next one at City Hall will be Hannah Smith. entitled For the Flowers. She's on the left side with the, I believe that one's called Prickly Pear. At Krekel, we have Rachel Lebo. I hope I'm saying that right. Hers will be entitled Small Fictions. And down at the Renaud Center, we will have Sam Campbellman, Distant Dream. I think it's definitely going to be a good variety, and I'm excited to see all of those. So.
And did we decide that instead of like an opening ceremony, we might have a closing for those, or?
I'm going to let our new specialist kind of tackle that. She has, you're kind of stealing my thunder, Kevin. No, I'm joking. She's definitely got some experience with the art gallery side of things. So I'm going to let her, she'll be there for the installation. So I'm going to kind of let her piecemeal that one together.
Okay.
I'm leaning, it's definitely going to be better for it to be closer to opening than it is to closing. You know, doing one during the holidays is not, it's not really going to make sense for anybody.
Right.
But given the fact that she will be pretty new in the role and things along those lines, I would almost envision more of a awkward middle of the road reception versus an opening or a closing, I guess. So more of just a reception, I guess, a showing, if you will. But we'll see.
Okay.
That was my next point. Hiring update. Jumped the gun. Our new cultural arts specialist starts on Monday. We were hoping she would be in here today to get, to introduce herself, but she will be here in October. Her name is Dana. She comes from a couple different places, but she's got some experience with not only galleries, but a sculpture series and theater as well. So very seemingly well-rounded, and we're definitely excited to have her. She will be in here to meet you guys in October, so you won't have to hear me talk the whole time. All right, that is all I have for the cultural arts report. Any questions on anything? No?
Nothing along those lines. All right, moving on to old business then.
All right. So first up on old business, I believe Brittany had presented this to you guys at some point. Noble Winds is a company who reached out to us. They take retired wind turbine blades and turn them into benches, tables, things along those lines. They are made out of aluminum frames, the actual framework of the benches themselves, and then the seats are composite lumber, so they have a 25-year warranty and stuff like that. They're super longevity is off the charts, which is awesome. And one of the things that we love the most about them is that they come primed, ready for paint. So something that we are looking to hopefully do is purchase the Arch version, which is it should be in your PowerPoint. Mm-hmm. And this is in the very, early developing stages of it, but the brainchild is that we will purchase it. Then it will become the art piece at HFF next year. So we'll put out a call to artists with, the general descriptions of the bench itself, what we're kind of looking for, looking to tie in either America 250, that's next year, or something to do with, veterans, patriotic kind of as a whole. And then hopefully we will be able to have the final installation of this at the Veterans Walk. So this will kind of be a collaboration project, I guess, between kind of, CAC, OCVB, Veterans Commission. I've talked to Conan, who oversees the Veterans Walk, and he absolutely loves the idea. We haven't taken it to the Veterans Commission yet. We wanted to start with you guys to kind of, get your thoughts on it, because it would be considered an art purchase. Obviously, it wouldn't be in effect. Well, it would come out of this year's, purchasing budget. We just wouldn't see it live, if you will, until next year. But that's kind of our brainchild. And I have this is the part where I'm sad that I don't have it on the screen, because they sent me, I can show you guys this closer, but they sent me like a rendering of like what it could potentially look like, and like a little plaque that they could possibly do as well. So I can show you guys that closer. I added this after I printed these because I forgot. So today's been a day. So, but I will show those to you. It's this rendering that they have is super neat, and it would definitely be something, you know, we would kind of like look to do, at least that same sort of like representation. So that, the bench itself is like just shy of like 8,000. So I think we were going to earmark probably about 10,000 for the whole project to account for, you know, any sort of shipping or things along those lines. And then the actual, like paint itself and whatnot would actually not come out of the purchasing budget. That would come out of like Heritage and Freedom Fest. We would just pay, you know, the artists that we would select. Then they would kind of bring all the supplies they needed for it. So we would just be looking at, like I said, or estimating probably about 10,000, give or take-ish, out of that art purchasing budget. Thoughts?
I remember talking about these.
Yeah, I think it's been a while.
I remember really enjoying the look of them, and I believe the arch one was the one that we were all in favor of, especially it almost looks like an O for O'Fallon.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
And which I know we're always looking for the O's.
Sure.
And I certainly am in favor of it. I think that we were pretty much everybody was in favor of it at the time. I don't know what some of our newer members think.
Do we know if there are any of these benches anywhere else in St. Louis that people can see?
I don't know if there's any in St. Louis. They did send me some other pieces, or some other pictures, excuse me, of them in different locations. One that they sent me, I know, was in like Arizona or something. So you would think that would probably hold up pretty well, you know, in the heat. Or it has held up pretty well in the heat. So I would think if it can withstand Arizona heat, we should probably be okay. Another thing that I forgot to mention is they send you, they are working with, I want to say it's Sherwin-Williams, on like a specific type of paint that is like best suited for this material, with, you know, the primer already being on it, things like that. So that's something we would convey to the artists as well. You know, this type of paint is the one that is, you know, would work the best, and the longevity is the, you know, whatever. And then if we need to seal it, we can do that as well. I don't think there's any in St. Louis. I can ask. I actually have a call with them next week, so I can double check and let you guys know if there's one, you know, close that we could maybe potentially take a look at. But they've been doing this, I think, for a while. And like I said, I think their warranty is like 25 years, which the next even remotely similar one is like 6 years, 8 years, somewhere around there. So.
Do we know where it will be placed?
Not exactly, no. When I was talking to Conan, we were kind of tossing the idea around. He said there used to be a bench placed at the walk somewhere that I think has since deteriorated or something and has been removed. So hopefully that concrete pad is still in good enough shape that maybe we can just kind of put that where that, you know, previous bench was. But like I said, that part's kind of up in the air at this point. You guys are our first stop on our, you know, presentation tour of all the commissions. So,
where are you guys like asking the artist, you know, to paint the sculpture or the bench? Like, is that something you guys are kind of doing like a voting process, like what you did with the, sorry, I don't remember.
Fall into the arts, yeah. Yeah, so likely we would put out the call on the platform, I believe it's called Cafe. It's the same one that we put out for like Shape of Community Sculpture series. So it would go out through Cafe, but then obviously like that link would live on the city website. We would push that on social media, things like that as well. But Cafe is a network of artists like nationwide where they can kind of search for things and apply for them. Similar to kind of like Zap, how we did for Fit. I believe actually Cafe and Zap are owned by the same like parent company. It's just a little bit different functionalities, if I understand correctly. So.
And then where would the, I guess you already asked us, it's not clear on where it's going to be displayed like long-term. Where would it be like, presented to O'Fallon? Like, would that be at the Veterans Walk, or would it be during the Freedom Festival?
So the Freedom Fest would be painting like live, like at the event itself. It would be painted at the event. Each year we try to incorporate some aspect of art in a way. This, or 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, we had a muralist who painted the mural that was, it's actually in the east entrance of like the Twin Towers and the Statue of Liberty by the, there was a piece of the World Trade Center back there, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's back there. And then we had a chalk artist one year who like drew this giant like eagle flying out of chalk all over the ground. So it would be like a live,
Throughout like the whole weekend?
yeah, demo, if you will, I guess. Typically what we do is they have, a couple days to paint on site, or if they need to finish it. It would kind of depend on their, suggestion for what they want to paint and like how long they think that would take. If they needed to do any work ahead of the, the festival to finish it there, or vice versa, or kind of like that. And then ideally, if its final resting place, if you will, is the Veterans Walk, there's a ceremony on Veterans Day at the Veterans Walk every year. So hopefully we would have it installed by then. Is kind of our timeline, I guess. Very early stages, like I said. I had a conversation with them a couple weeks ago, and my brains were like, "Oh my God, this could be so cool." So we're getting there, but like.
Would it be themed, I'm assuming themed patriotic?
Yeah. So next year is the 250th birthday of America. So that's kind of, I think, going to be where we're taking a lot of inspiration from for, Heritage and Freedom Fest. So something along those lines, whether it's actually America 250 or if it's, kind of geared more towards veterans, because that's where we're hoping it'll go, general patriotism, something along those lines would be the subject matter, I guess, if you will.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah. I wish I could put this picture up on the screen. It's so cool. I'll show you guys, though. Okay. Any other questions on that specifically? No?
Sorry, this is silly. They would paint the inside and the outside? Yeah, based on.
Ideally, yes. There's the option to paint the inside and the outside, yeah. Not a requirement per se, but ideally, yeah. So kind of along those same lines, with art purchasing, we do have $25,000 allocated for that total. So if we are, kind of earmarking about $10,000 for this project, that leaves us with about 15. In that same breath, Shape of Community will be rotating out next spring. So I know we've purchased some sculptures in the past. I don't know if that's kind of a direction you guys would like to continue in, purchasing sculptures, if we wanted to take a look at any, of the gallery work that has been hung. I do have on the next couple pages in front of you, I have the current
Unless you want to.
sculptures that are within that $15,000 range. There are a few other ones that we have that are just outside of that $15,000 range by quite a bit. So those probably wouldn't be an option. But that's kind of, food for thought. I don't necessarily, need any sort of answer or decision at this exact moment on if you guys want to kind of go sculpture route or look more towards the gallery side of things. But we probably would want to start making that decision by next meeting, I would say. So we can definitely, if you guys want to kind of look into some things or churn over it or whatever, and then we can talk about it in October as well, we can do that, unless you guys are feeling strongly about one way or another.
So a couple questions. So is this money that's already been earmarked for this year, and that's why it's not tied up in the theater
Correct.
Okay. Because I knew that we were allocating some of our funds towards the theater, which
That'll be-
I think is very
Yeah,
important.
that'll be 2026 funding. Yes.
Okay, understood. And so if we have the discussion next month over some of these items, we might not come to a firm conclusion on them. And then our next meeting won't be until the next calendar year, but we'll be fine on because I know some of these don't rotate out until the spring anyway, so it seems like that we might be able to push a little bit into the new year with this conversation if necessary.
Potentially, I mean, ideally, we would like to get it, kind of taken care of this year.
Okay.
There is a little bit of wiggle room when you get into January, not a lot. So that's why I was kind of going to, bring this to you guys now. If
Okay.
there are any of these sculptures that you're looking at that you immediately are drawn to or that you absolutely love or anything like that, we can definitely reach out to the artists to see, if purchase is even an option. They might have them allocated to go somewhere else. We don't even know that yet either. But that's kind of where, we're at with it. But yes, Kevin, you're right. They won't officially be rotated out or removed or anything likely until probably March or April of next year.
Okay. And we aren't limited to these, just for everybody's information. If you have if you know of some local artwork that you've seen maybe in one of the galleries that we would like to discuss, that could be brought to the attention next month, or even we could bring it to the attention of the group before the meeting next month. That way we kind of get eyes on it and have a better idea of what we're talking about once we get into the meeting next month.
Yeah. And it might be a combination, if one of the sculptures we're looking at, like I said, some of them are, in the $9,000-$12,000 range, there is still some additional funding there that could
Okay.
be used. It's, by no means are we saying if we buy one sculpture, that's it, you're done, you don't get anything else.
Gotcha. We have around $15,000 to work with.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused, I'm sorry. So these sculptures are currently in O'Fallon?
Yes.
Sorry. These are currently like in O'Fallon and we
Yes.
don't own them, but
Nope.
we can own essentially like one or two of them.
Potentially, yeah. So they're part of what's called the Shape of Community rotating sculpture series. So every 18 to 24-ish months, we rotate sculptures throughout different city facilities. Most of them are parks. We do have a sculpture actually out front of City Hall right now as well. There's one in front of the depot over by Civic Park. But we rotate them out, every year and a half roughly. They're on lease. So we pay the artist a stipend to basically rent their sculpture for that time. But when they submit the sculpture to us, for consideration, there is a sale price listed in there. If we wanted to purchase it, then that option potentially still remains. Again, like I would reach out if there's any of these that are, piquing anyone's interest immediately. I can go ahead and reach out to that artist to say, is this still for sale? Because like I said, some of these might have their sculptures allocated to go to a different exhibition or for a I don't know. They got installed last year in like May. So lots of things could have changed between now and then. But so yeah, if there's any that are immediately kind of, like I said, piquing your guys' interest, let me know and we can reach out to the artist to, yeah.
I like the wings. It's just my opinion. I feel like
Oh, you
every
like
city
that.
has wings somewhere.
Yeah. I think-
Usually painted on something, but
Yeah.
these are like real. I was out there this past weekend. We had a good time taking photos.
Yeah. I personally would agree with that. I also think the placement of the wings is great. Like right by Brendan's, I feel like there are always, like every time I drive by there, I think there's always kiddos around, families kind of near them as well too. So I would agree with that. I like the wings, but personally my favorite is the little bit of peace, the peace sign one. I think that one's adorable and it fits Sports Park really well too. So
Is there a process we used in the past to vote on which sculptures or art to purchase?
So normally we would have a discussion, and we would come to a bit of a consensus during the discussion, typically, and then it would be put to a vote, the way we do motions and seconds, and then we would have all in favor, any opposed, and then it would carry forward. But we usually have a pretty fluid discussion about it first.
And I will say too, and Craig, I'll kind of defer to you a little bit on this too, but I would think once it's kind of decided which sculptures you guys are potentially looking at, then we would go to OCVB and probably council as well for Parks and Rec. Yeah. You guys are we're stepping stones, you know? You guys are the experts, everyone else.
Yeah, we
I guess.
we kind of put the idea in the heads, and they run with it to see if it's possible.
Yeah.
So
What's the option, like, totally down for whatever, but you were saying something about galleries instead of, like, what would that essentially look like?
So the different galleries that are hung without the city, or within the city, sorry. The ones that were in City Hall right here, the one at Krekel, the one down at Renaud. Most of that art that has been in those galleries is also available for purchase. So if, anybody went and saw any of them and was just super drawn to them and, something like that, those could also be considered for purchase as well. Yeah.
So I have a question about that. If we, like with the sculptures, when we've bought them, we've created other places to put them. So how would that work with the galleries? Where else in the city can we put the galleries?
It's kind of depends on the piece, I think. So the third floor actually, like landing up from the stairs right here, has the little Olympic sculptures that we purchased last year. There's also a couple pieces from the Olympic exhibition that are hung upstairs as well. Well, actually, one of them fell down. We're working on fixing it. But just the glass broke. The art itself is fine. But they will that's where they will remain. We also purchased one that was from the Olympic collection as well. That was a dancer. That one's actually located at Krekel because we have civic dance there. So we kind of left it there to sort of tie in. The posters that were down at the Renaud Center actually are still in the hallway down at Renaud Center. Because they were all like sports, themed of the Olympic posters themselves. So they are down there in the hallway. So it's not, exclusive to just saying like in these galleries. There are definitely some other places that we could potentially find the, wall space. Okay.
I agree. The first two, the Peace and the Rise, are both great sculptures. Is that something we could potentially check out in ahead of the next meeting?
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can reach out to him. No biggie.
yeah, it might be. Those are definitely ones that are in the conversation, I would say. So if we could find out if they're for sale, that would be perfect.
Okay. I will do that.
Have you ever had a chance to see the elephant out at O'Day Park? It's called In the Room, and it's an elephant crafted out of found material.
It's super
and
cute.
It's on the way to the park. It's in the field, like as you drive to kind of the playground area. And that was one of our purchases, for example, that we did one year.
The other, there's,
Spike, don't forget Spike by
I
the
know.
pool.
Pike over by
Love Spike.
Alligator Creek.
yes. I was gonna say, I think there's the two other ones. There might be one I'm missing, but Spike, yes, is over by Alligators Creek, right over here. And then I think it's called Blue Rail is the one over by the depot. It's really neat. I would suggest, I think Brittany mentioned this at one point in time, but we actually have an app called AutoCast. I think it's OTO. I think it's just one T. And it's like a live interactive map that can show you where all of these different sculptures are at throughout the city. It's got some descriptions about them, like an artist statement about it as well, like the medium they're made out of, kind of things along those lines as well. So if you guys haven't looked at that yet either, I would highly suggest that. Our city website also has the list of the sculptures that are currently in rotation, as well as the ones we own as well, that have some info about them as well.
I give tours to my family and friends. Like, get in the car, we're going to go see
We
sculptures.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
AutoCast is great.
Yeah.
We got that. I think Marty started that, and then Brittany kind of fluffed it up. So.
Yeah. I feel like there's some of them that, the one that's at Zoom Wall, which isn't, oh no, it is on here. Every time I walk past it, I feel like I notice something different about it. And I spend a lot of time in that park, let me tell you. So that's you look at it from one direction, it looks completely different than if you turn even 15 degrees to look at it from a different direction.
I will say, oh, I'm sorry, Kevin, the one at Aussie Sports doesn't have a plaque. It's missing. I didn't see a little thing
Okay,
for the QR code.
okay.
It's not, there's not one
Something
there.
tells me there
Might have
was
come
one
loose,
at
yeah.
some point.
That one gets played on a lot.
Yeah.
Purposefully. I mean, that's the way it's meant to be.
I was playing on it myself with my daughter. I got on there.
Pictures or it didn't happen. Come on now.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
No, and all I was going to say is I miss the pangolin tail out there at Fort Zumwalt Park. That was always my favorite one there. But I don't believe that one was for sale or something whenever we were talking
Was that the
about.
last round?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Either that or we didn't have enough for it because it was a pretty large piece.
It was, yeah. Yeah, some of these I was very surprised by when I was looking at them. I'm like, that's it? But
Right.
that's okay. So, okay, I will look into the Little Bit of Peace 2 and Rise. I'll reach out to those artists to see if those are, potentially available still, and I'll have that information for you guys. Are there any other that you want me to kind of look into while I'm in the process?
Those are my favorites on the list.
Okay. Any other questions about that? Bless you. No? Okay. All right. Last topic for me, and then Tom's up here. So I know we had kind of discussed potentially updating meeting dates. Mariah really only received 2 suggestions, which were to A, keep the schedule the same, or B, update it to the every other month. I know we had a little bit of discussion about whether we wanted to do November or December, on that every other month aspect. So those are kind of our 2 options, if you will. And I put together, it's in your packet, a little snapshot of kind of what the cultural arts calendar looks like throughout the year. Obviously, this is all inclusive, so not every year is going to have Shape of Community in it. Obviously, next year we don't have a spring OTW show, keep that in mind. But on the years where we're firing on all cylinders, this is kind of what the year looks like. And the little asterisk by each month denotes like a current meeting date. Not the new one, like a proposed one, but the current ones. So that's the question to you all, I guess, is, are we wanting to stick with the same calendar, or are we wanting to update to this other proposed one of every other month and then November versus December?
So if we're voting in February for the Shape of Communities, that's this coming February,
It would
right?
be, yeah.
So last time, didn't we have a special meeting? Because we were here, I remember, for a really long time voting on. Didn't we do a special meeting?
I think we
Do you remember,
did.
Craig?
And I didn't submit one beforehand because I thought we would kind of submit our ideas or discuss them here. But I was kind of I like the idea of every other month, beginning in February, although taking December off of because I don't think we need a meeting in December, and maybe adding in a September or a November, one of those 2. And so I feel like we could talk about the holiday show in October and be okay with it, because it's really the only other thing on the horizon at the October meeting,
Yeah.
other than call for Shape of Community opens.
Yeah, potentially too. And I didn't put this on there because, again, next year's calendar might be a little funky, but October, November would likely be when we would announce the following year's OTW lineup as well.
Okay.
Give or take, obviously, kind of dependent on when we would secure rights and things along those lines. And if we don't, I see where you're coming from. My hesitation with October and then not having one at all the rest of the year is if we don't have everything kind of ironed out for OTW yet, then we don't talk about it again until February when it's a month away at that point. Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all hypothetical at this point, obviously. But if I've learned one thing over these past couple months, it's that purchasing playwrights takes so much longer than you think it would. So long. So we're going to hopefully try to tackle at least one of them for next year, this year, to just try to check that off the list. But yeah, so I guess I was going to say thoughts, opinions. We'll have to, obviously, if you guys decide you want to change it, it'll have to be like an actual, I think a verbal vote is fine. And I know we're missing a couple, but the quorum is still here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think I support the proposed schedule, and whether it's November or December for that last meeting doesn't make a difference to me.
I think I would lean more towards November than December, just because with the holidays, everything, and I especially for our folks who are working the celebration of lights. I mean, I volunteer out there with my church group every year, so I know what it takes. I get a glimpse of what it takes, is what I should say.
Come on out whenever you want to, Kevin.
Yeah.
We'll be there. I promise.
And so if we could stay away from December, I think that would be helpful to them. But I do like the idea of having November. But the problem with the idea of dropping September is the meeting does take place just prior to Fall into the Arts. So we would be having our final Fall into the Arts discussion in August. Of course, by then, I don't know if there's much else we can do in September by then anyway.
Food for thought.
Yeah,
I didn't talk about FIDA at all today.
that's true.
I maybe should have, but I didn't.
So maybe we don't do September, and we have October, November being our 2 back-to-back months. And then,
I'm in the boat of, I feel like Fall into the Arts should be a all year round discussion, just because of how like much of a community reach it could bring. Like you could, with last meeting, we were talking about like the geofencing with the Heritage Festival. I feel like you could probably do the same thing with the Fall into the Arts and get, artists from Illinois, Kansas City even. At least I know a lot of artists, so I feel like I
Sure.
can push that out to people. But personally, I'm fine with any proposed schedule, but I do think that the Fall into the Arts, or honestly any sort of festival, should be like almost a year-round discussion, like every single month, just maybe like a check-in.
so the good thing about that is we currently do start talking Fall into the Arts as soon as the new year rolls around. So, which would then move into February instead of March, which would even be a month earlier, would be kind of when we'd start that. Because right now our call for the artist starts in March. And we have periodic discussions throughout the rest of the calendar.
And then also, side note, this is just so newbie of me.
Sure.
But I am like very dyslexic, and if I could get like a little itemized list of like the little abbreviations you guys
Yeah.
use, that would be super helpful for me.
Okay. I will give you that.
Just a side note.
No, it's one of the things when I started working here and everyone's talking in acronyms, I'm like, I don't know what that means. And now I'm one of them, so I'm sorry. But yeah, for sure. And to your point, Kevin, yeah, I mean, if we bump FIDA, either to February or March, I will say, I don't know if it has anything to do with the timing of, when people were accepted this year, but I have actually had, I want to say like 5 or 6 artists drop in the past 2 weeks from FIDA. Because I don't know if it's things that have come up or if it's because they applied so early and then forgot about it, or I'm not.
I think it's just fall.
That too. I know it's
get-
busy.
Yeah, they get pulled in so many
Sure.
directions.
Yeah.
And so if they see one that's potentially more profitable, they
Yep.
might dip out on ours.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's no way to know, obviously, some people tell you what it was. Some people just say they aren't available anymore. So, but okay. So thoughts? It sounds like we have some in favor of kind of updating this the meeting schedule.
My thing, and people can pick it apart as they wish, is February, April, June, August, October, November.
Okay?
And that's only a slight deviation from what we do now. It kind of pushes us earlier in the year and a little bit later in the year, which I feel like there was just this big, long, nothing spell, and I think
Agreed.
that kind of fixes that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what
I don't know.
we were trying
Yeah, I was
to
originally
avoid.
on the current schedule, but now seeing the calendar, that's really helpful. I do like have February meeting and November and take out December. I like that.
Okay.
My only concern, I like the idea of the every other month, but what I'd like to know is February being February in Missouri, and if the weather should be against us, could we just then make it March? And if that should happen, that we get snowed out or whatever.
I don't know how all that works. I'm going to be honest. Yes, Tom says yes.
I know we've had special meetings in the
Okay.
past, so I think it just becomes a conversation of availability.
I would say if something is canceled for inclement weather, then yes, it could be made up.
It might have to be another night, but.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. So then, yeah, good point. I mean, December, you could potentially run that same risk as well. I don't want it to snow that early in December, or really ever, if I'm being honest. But
You mean November?
no, I meant December. When you were saying you don't want to do one in December, you could
Correct.
potentially
Yeah,
run that
no
risk of
meeting.
snow as well. So if it snows in November, we've got some problems. So
It used to snow in November.
I hate snow.
Plus December is so soon after Thanksgiving too. It's
Yeah.
people are shopping and
Yeah.
busy and.
Yep. November works perfectly fine for me, yeah. But so it would be, if you guys are all, we would have to obviously vote. The schedule would be February, April, June, August, October, November. Yes? I think I have to have a verbal.
Do we want to run a vote then? I would seek a motion to approve the new schedule,
Guayardo, second.
or I'm not motioning.
Fogarty, motion to approve the new schedule.
Guayardo, second.
All in favor of the new schedule, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Perfect. All right, then I will have, we'll have updated bylaws next meeting for you guys that will have to be approved. And then they go to council as well for approval.
Okay.
So that being said, I don't know, it'll depend on, I don't remember the exact calendar, if we'll be able to get them on council agenda immediately following your guys' October meeting, or if it'll have to be the next one. But I do want to say this can take effect immediately.
Okay.
It doesn't have to. So that is the kind of question. This could take effect in 2026 to start in February, or we could take effect in November. But
That could also be a conversation in October, whether we feel like we have lingering things that we want to speak about at a November meeting, and then we can decide to come back for November, or if we feel like things are tidied up, we can begin the new schedule in February,
food for thought. Okay.
especially if you want to talk more about the holiday show for some
Yeah.
reason.
Okay. That's it. You guys made it. No, not all together. You still have Tom, but I'm done.
That's Jenna, everybody.
I'm
Thank you.
done. Okay. Thanks, guys.
We'll just have you do it like that all the time, right?
I kind of wish you would have stayed up here for me. Now, Commission members, Councilmember Taylor, thank you for having me here tonight. I appreciate it. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tom Drabell. I'm the Deputy City Administrator. And in that role, I actually oversee, coincidentally, both the Engineering Department and the Recreation Department. And I'm kind of representing both in this particular presentation tonight. Didn't realize Jenna was going to talk about the purchasing of the art, but it actually leads extremely well into what I was going to talk about, so that's great. We have an exciting opportunity to kind of build on what you guys have already done with Shape of the Community. And we're really excited because we will be building we are starting to add roundabouts in various locations. If any of you live near Weldon Spring and Crusher, you know it's been a rough summer with the traffic down there as we build that as our first city-built roundabout. And one of the exciting things about these roundabouts is it's going to give us opportunities to spread public art. So we actually have worked with our landscape superintendent, Bob Deardoff, who came up with this design that you see on the monitors in front of you for what the landscaping within the circle would actually look like. But as you see, there's just a triangle there. So we basically trusted your guys' judgment, and we decided, well, let's take a look at what we're doing in shape of the community right now and see if there is a particular piece that could fit in this going forward. So I'm excited to say, and it's not on your pictures because I think it's above that price range, but that's okay. We are looking to add Learning Curve, which is over in Civic Park, to this first roundabout. We actually went to the city council on this at their last meeting just because of the timing, and they approved us to be able to have funds to purchase this. So we have a meeting tomorrow actually with Jenna and some others to kind of talk about the actual process. But if all goes well, when the roundabout opens in October, this will be the centerpiece of that roundabout. It'll sit on an 8x8 block. I don't remember exactly how tall it is, but I think it's like 4 feet tall. And then this will sit on top of that. This is about a 14-foot sculpture, so you're looking at something that's going to be about 18 to 20-ish feet in the air. So it'll be pretty prominent down there. The exciting thing too, going forward, is we are actually going to be we have at least 5 roundabouts planned in various areas of the city over the next 5 years, give or take. The next one after this will be at Tom Ginevra in North Cool Springs, where there's a stop sign right now. We have one coming out here to Main Street and 3rd Street, right out in front of City Hall. And then there'll be several down on Deer Road, down on the south side in the next few years. So each of those roundabouts is going to give us another opportunity to add public art to these areas as we go forward. This one we had a time crunch on. We pretty much had to go with one of the options we had. But going forward, we will work with Jenna, our new cultural arts coordinator, and you guys as well, and really kind of try to work together to find specific pieces that will work in those areas. For example, like Deer Road, we'll probably have 3 roundabouts within I don't know how many mile range when it's all done. We probably would want to do something that's themed. So we have several sculptures that kind of coordinate with each other going forward. This one's all by itself. It could be anything. But out here, we'll probably want something that fits the historical area. So we'll kind of work with you guys and with Jenna and her team to come up with those going forward. But we're really excited about the opportunity, and we think this is just another opportunity to build on what you guys have already done with Shape a Community. So
I love it, and I love that piece too.
Okay.
So there'll always be purchased items,
Yes,
sculptures on the roundabouts.
That's one of the keys is because it's in the center of an intersection, rotating them is really not that practical. So these would always be purchased pieces that would be as permanent as any piece can be.
All right, thanks, Tom. Yeah. Any other questions for Tom?
Yep. What are the size limitations of a piece of sculpture that would go in one of these roundabouts?
It's actually going to vary a little bit on the individual roundabout. This one, if I remember off the top of my head, the diameter of the base is about 7.5 feet, and the height, like I said, is about 14-ish feet. So that's probably pretty typical, but there may be, especially like down on Deer Road, a couple that are smaller where we may have to look at this smaller piece or something like that. So it'll vary based on the individual roundabout. Out here, it might be even bigger because it's going to be a bigger roundabout here. So it just depends.
I know some of the roundabouts, people get up on the roundabout. So will it be like a buffer area?
Yes, ma'am. Let me go back one slide here. If you look right here, you can't see my cursor, but the darker area around the landscape right there, that's all concrete, stamped concrete. So yes, that will give plenty of room for somebody to hit the curb and not damage anything inside. And then there will also be, as you can kind of see in the bottom picture there, some strategically placed rocks around so that if someone did go over, they would stop before they hit a solid piece that's going to do some very bad damage to them. So we'll have various strategically placed rocks to slow cars down and make sure that doesn't happen.
So with adding permanent sculptures like that, including the ones that we buy, how does that change like the budget and everything for continual maintenance? Does that fall on a certain line item?
That is actually going to fall through the, you guys will be happy to hear, the Street and Road Improvement Fund. Although if you ever want to give us money, we'll be happy to take it. But no, it'll be considered part of those infrastructure projects in the future.
Thank you.
And is there some sort of lighting incorporated into these?
Yes, sir. You can't see it on the picture, but there will be, on this one in particular, 4 corner uplights reaching up for it. It'll always be either 4 or 6, depending on the size of the area. Plus, in this particular one, it's going to be really well lit because in addition to those spotlights, there's actually going to be street lights all around the outside of the roundabout on the outer side. So this one will be about as well lit as any of them.
I mean, I think it's a great idea, and I love the fact that we've been incorporated into this. It'll be a lot of fun to, take part in beautifying these roundabouts. I know some people have their opinions on roundabouts, as I've seen at City Hall meetings, but if we're going to have them, they might as well be pretty.
And that's exactly it. It's, I certainly understand I can give you all the statistics while they're safer. You don't care, that's okay. But it does give us this opportunity to do something unique and spread it, and we're happy to take advantage of that.
Oh, I'm ambivalent about roundabouts. I don't like them or hate them. So
that's kind of how I am, actually.
Yeah.
So, any other questions? Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you, and thanks for working with us on this, thinking of us. Yeah. All right, so that was our new business. Does anyone have anything else they would like to add to the discussion? I know the only thing, I put a plug for Curious Savage. I know that we've talked about it earlier tonight, but it's this weekend and the weekend after. I plan on taking in a show eventually. Oh, I don't know if you were in here yet for that. Curious Savage, the play for O'Fallon Theater Works, it opens this weekend. Lovely. Yeah. And they invited us upstairs to check them out after we get done with the meeting. Because they're doing their rehearsals right now. Anybody else have anything to add to the agenda this evening? All right, hearing none, I would seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Guayardo.
Fogarty, motion seconded.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.